Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. So here we have our directions for question. So it's a jumbled sentence question. Um, by looking at the kind of segregation of the sentences into four sentence based. Uh, so what does the directions for questions point out here? The directions points out here the four sentences labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4 below, when properly sequenced, would produce a coherent paragraph. Decide on the proper sequencing of the order of the sentences and key in the sequence of the four numbers as your answer. Well, let's go to the each of the sentence. The first sentence says, though iron ores were common in the Egyptian deserts, ancient Egyptian people probably did not master iron smelting until 2600 years ago, about 700 years after the Hittites and other societies to the north. Now, option 2 stated many scholars would say the Iron Age began about 3,300 years ago in Anatolia, where the Hittites invented a method for extracting metallic iron from early ore minerals such as hematite. Option 3 said, yet iron objects appear much earlier than that in Egypt. And option 4 stated that this smelting process requires creating and controlling temperatures about 2300 degree Fahrenheit. Now, you can got the idea about this first, second, third, fourth question. So if I look into this, so what I can point out here, so the first option begin with the though, right, which is a contrasting ideas. Though iron ores were common in the Egyptian desert. So sentence 1 brings the discussion of Egypt and the timeline for mastering iron smelting. It is a logical progression actually, right? But cannot be called as an introducing one, right? It is a logical progression from the previous sentences, right? Any of the previous sentences that discuss the Hittites and the iron making process. So on the basis of that, if you observe, so where that Hittites and the iron making process has been discussed, it's in a means option 4, or you can talk about option where it is stated about it is yes. So option 2, right? So in that case, if you look into this, it is stating about it is and the iron making process, and that you can find out in option 2. So we could say that option 2 could be the beginning of the sentence. So what option 2 tries to point out, option 2 provides essential historical context about the Iron Age and mentions the Hittites' role in exacting metallic iron. It sets the stage actually, right? It sets the stage for the discussion of iron smelting. Then, if you look into that, the option 4 stated this smelting process, isn't it? So as you find out that the stage for the discussion of iron smelting is found in option 2. Option 4 introduces this smelting process that introduces a key aspect of the smelting process. For iron, gives us information about the high temperature involved into it. That's called as 2300 degree Fahrenheit. And it follows naturally after the previous sentence as it continues to describe the iron making process, right? So therefore, we can say 2 and after 2, 4 could be the appropriate pair. Now, in that case, then you can make a kind of a contrast there, though iron ores, so which is given in a sentence 1, brings the discussion to Egypt and their timeline for mastering iron smelting. So therefore 241 would be the appropriate sequence. So sentence 3 indicates again but, which talks about the presence of iron objects in Egypt before mastering smelting, makes sense as the concluding sentence, right? So, because it adds a bit of intrigue and curiosity, interest. It implies that iron object existed in Egypt even before they mastered mastered the smelting process. So, because it is written, yet iron object after much earlier than that in Egypt. So, the smelting process. So hence, we could find out the correct sequence should be 2413, right? So as for the idea which we point out here, so I hope you understood this. That's all. Thank you.